Alright, hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of 7 Deadly Sins Nanatsu no Taizai, episode 9, The Heartbeat of Darkness. And this episode was just so much, it was filled with so much epicness. My mouth was salivating from the awesomeness. This episode was just so freaking amazing. Oh my god. We finally really get to actually see King fight, and King is so fucking dope. Like, he deserves the name Fairy King. And was I the only person who thought, when they said Harley Quinn, I immediately thought of Batman? But I think that was probably just me, so disregard that. But this episode was so fucking awesome. I was just so happy that Vaughn actually got to see Elaine again, and it was just, this episode was just amazingness. I fangasmed a little bit watching this episode because King went the fuck in. Like, Meliodas, Bond, and Deanne could not fight Gyula. I believe that's her name, Gyula. The Holy Knight by themselves, and King pretty much took her out single-handedly, except for the last blow she tried to do on King, and then Meliodas took her out. But King's just so fucking awesome. And it explains so much, because every flashback they ever showed of King, he was rather large and plump and had like really big lips, and yeah. But I guess that's not his true form. His true form is like little kid version of himself, because now he looks more like his sister Elaine. So he said that holding that form takes a lot, like a tremendous amount of energy, and it was tiring him out. But I was so happy. Finally, now we have another sin to add to the team, because King is awesome. He really is awesome, even though he's rather self-centered, and he is in love with Deanne. She's awesome though. So I don't think she knows, because of course she's in love with Meliodas. So it's like a love quadrangle. It's the best way I can put it. But I was so happy that Bond got to see Elaine again, because it made my day knowing that Bond got to see Elaine. But this episode, like, we see, like, after they took out Gyula, they found out that Gyula was the reason why she was in the capital of the dead was because she got there by almost killing herself. So after right before they came back, they saw the two little kids, Helen, I think it's Helen, and her brother, and Ellen and her brother, and we find out that they were actually from the capital of the dead, and they came to help them, is what I got from it. I could be completely wrong, but it's okay though. So after all of that, they tied Gyula to a tree, and Gyula's boss came and laughed at her because they drew all over her face and shit after they tied her to the tree. And then they show them, they're like all sitting together and talking, and King asks them about their holy weapons, because without holy weapons they're just like normal people, but with holy weapons they could have immeasurable power. And King demonstrated this by taking water out of the lake, which I thought was so fucking badass. But King, he's just awesome. I like King, but Bond is still my favorite character as of right now. So after this, we find out Deanne lost hers, Meliodas sold his, and Bond, his got stolen when he was put in prison. So they did show Bond's holy weapon when he was fighting the demon that burnt down the tree in the forest that he met Elaine. So hopefully Bond will get his back. And in this episode they show that they found out where Deanne's weapon was, and it was literally like in the mountain. So they have to fight in a festival to get the hammer back. It's called Gideon, if I remember correctly. So while all of this is happening, they show like these huge barbarians fighting knights, and Gil Thunder, and I do not remember his name, literally came out of nowhere and destroyed them. Like, Gil Thunder is just fucking badass. He really is. If he was using his powers for good instead of evil, but I guess it depends on your definition of good, then he would be really fucking awesome. But Gil Thunder, he's a little bit too stuck on himself, I feel. So, But his partner, he's pretty awesome. And he was actually at the festival, and it looks like they're about to fight. So I'm so looking forward to next week's episode. But other than that, they show them, well, King was pretty much like, I shouldn't have come with y'all. I should have stayed back there with Deanne. And now they're all about to fight. Somebody already, like, they showed two people that already know that they are Sins. And they also showed one of the Sins. I do not know which Sin he is, but he has green hair. He looks so fucking awesome. They showed one of the other Sins. He was at the festival, so hopefully he will show himself. So next week's episode is probably going to be pretty fucking awesome because we get to see everybody fight and the awesomeness that will ensue. And hopefully Deanna will get her holy weapon back and we will have another Sin added to the group. But this episode was pretty fucking awesome. I've probably said that like 8 or 9 times now, but it's okay though. So as always, also before I forget, at the very end they showed Jericho and Vorik. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. Big muscular dude that Meliodas fought in the first episode. They were captured and brought underground, and Gila was there along with Hendrik, I believe that's his name. And they had to drink demon's blood. Tavik, I can't remember his name. That's horrible because he's really not important. But big muscular dude, he drank the demon's blood and literally blew up. And Jericho got her powers. So Bond needs to be a little careful because Jericho is definitely coming after him because he pretty much made her look horrible. So yeah, next week's episode is going to be so fucking awesome. I cannot wait to see how things are going to turn out, especially now considering that Jericho has there's probably going to be some pretty fucking awesome powers, considering that Gula has like immense power now and she just became an apprentice. So I am so looking forward. So as always, I would love to hear how you guys felt about this episode. How do you feel about the way things turned out? Like, do you feel like King has some ulterior motives, or do you think he's really a part of the Sins again? But as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.